Welcome to this explainer. When Arsenal and Paris Saint-Germain step onto the pitch this Saturday, we're not just watching two elite teams clash for European glory. We're actually watching the collision of two completely different physical realities. We're going to break down the data today to show you exactly why one of these teams is carrying a much heavier burden. Let's get right into it. $7,000. It's a staggering, almost unbelievable number. We're talking about the approximate difference in extra league minutes played by Arsenal's starting 11 compared to Paris Saint-Germain's. That's not a typo, by the way. That is a massive chasm in physical exertion over the course of a single season. So how on earth does a gap wide even happen at the absolute pinnacle of European football? Section 1. The Budapest Showdown and the grueling campaigns it took to get there. To understand how we get to that gap, you just have to look at the immediate difference in their overall workloads. Saturday is going to be Arsenal's 63rd game of the campaign. They were hunting down 4 different trophies right until early April. PSG, well, they're only entering their 56th game. That's a 7-game difference right off the bat. Essentially, that's an entire extra month of high-stakes, intense football that Arsenal has had to weather. Section 2. The 7,000-minute gap in the domestic leagues. The context of their domestic battles is absolutely everything here. Arsenal had to grind through a 38-game season in the Premier League to finally end that 22-year title drought. And remember, UEFA's coefficients rank the Premier League as Europe's top division. Let's be real, every single weekend is a war. Conversely, PSG plays in Ligue 1. Because of its 18-team format, it's a shorter 34-game season, and it currently ranks 5th in the UEFA coefficient. So, PSG is frequently facing comparatively weaker domestic opposition, which completely changes how a manager can approach a weekend fixture. So, the crucial takeaway here is that when you tally it all up, the specific starting 11 that Mikel Arteta fielded in the Champions League semi-final second leg racked up precisely 6,726 more league minutes than the starting 11 Luis Enrique fielded for Paris. To put that into perspective, that is literally the equivalent of 74 full 90-minute football matches of extra wear and tear across those 11 players. It's wild. Section 3. The luxury of rotation and manager philosophies. Enrique actually described his squad management strategy this season as playing Tetris, and honestly, he hit the nail on the head. Thanks to incredible squad depth, funded by the massive financial backing of their Qatari owners, he was able to utilize 28 different players in league fixtures. He could strategically piece together lineups, resting his biggest stars to make absolutely sure they were fresh for those crucial Tuesday and Wednesday European nights. Want to see just how extreme this Tetris game got? Take PSG's captain, the decorated Brazilian defender Marquinhos. He started 14 games in the Champions League this season, but he only made 14 total appearances in Ligue 1 all year. Actually, from mid-February to mid-April, he didn't play a single minute of league football. He was an unused sub for 7 successive games, yet he played every single minute of their 6 Champions League fixtures during that exact same window. And it wasn't just the defense getting wrapped in cotton wool. Even their star forwards were heavily protected. Fellow forward Kvicha Kvaratskhelia played a full 90 minutes in the league just twice all season out of 28 matches. And Ballon d'Or holder Ousmane Dembele? Get this, he completed 90 minutes in the league only once, just once, and he still managed to win the Ligue 1 Player of the Season award for the 2nd year in a row. It just highlights how little maximum exertion league football the Parisian stars actually had to play. Now, this luxury of rotation did come at a slight cost. Enrique's Tetris meant PSG dropped some points domestically. 3 of their 6 league defeats against Marseille, Monaco, and Lyon came immediately following Champions League ties. But, because of their overall dominance, it wasn't a fatal blow. They still easily cruised to their 12th league title in 14 years. Section 4. Arsenal's marathon and their relentless title race. Compare that to Arsenal. If we look at the 10 outfield players with the most league minutes across both of these incredible clubs combined, the numbers tell you everything you need to know. An unbelievable 8 of the top 10 play for Arsenal. Only PSG's Warren Zaïre-Emery and Ilya Zabarny even cracked this list. Arsenal's core simply could not be rested. Talk about reliance on a core group. When you look at players who started at least 30 league games this season, Arsenal had 4 absolute stalwarts: Declan Rice, William Saliba, Gabriel, and Martin Zubimendi. For PSG, Warren Zaïre-Emery was the solitary player to hit that 30 start mark. Just one. This reliance extended all the way to the back too. Arsenal's goalkeeper David Raya acted as an absolute Iron Man. He played every single minute of the intense Premier League season until he was finally granted a rest on the final day against Crystal Palace. But of course, that was only because the title was safely in the bag without them even having to play earlier that week. Okay, brace yourselves because this is probably the most mind-blowing stat of this entire X-Blinger. We just mentioned Warren Zaire-Emery played more league minutes than anyone else in the PSG squad, right? Well, Arsenal's defender Jurrien Timber, who suffered an injury way back in mid-March and is still a huge doubt for this final, still clocked more league minutes than PSG's most used player. Think about that for a second. Arsenal's injured players have more mileage on their legs than PSG's most active ones. Insane. Section 5. The final countdown and the physical reality. Look at how the final weeks played out for both clubs. PSG wrapped up their league comfortably with a game to spare on May 13th, and they played their final league match on May 17th. They were actually presented with the trophy before kickoff. Arsenal, however, were locked in a tense, down-to-the-wire battle. They were crowned champions on May 19th without playing, sure, but they still had to field a team and complete their season against Crystal Palace all the way on May 24th. That scheduling quirk translates to an absolutely massive advantage. 13. That is the number of full days of rest Paris Saint-Germain has enjoyed leading right into this final. Arsenal? They've had just 6 days to recover from the emotional and physical climax of their Premier League season. And there's a fascinating irony in all this data too, because PSG had a slightly rocky start and finished 11th in the Champions League phase. They actually had to play a 2-legged knockout playoff against Monaco. So they've technically played 16 Champions League games to Arsenal's 14 to reach Budapest. Yet, because of their domestic luxury, they still arrive significantly fresher overall. So, as we wrap up this X-Blinger, the ultimate question hanging over Saturday's massive final is this. Both clubs sit on 14 domestic league titles. Both are absolutely desperate for European supremacy. But does the advantage go to the meticulously rested, rotationally fresh legs of Paris Saint-Germain? Or does the unstoppable, battle-tested momentum of Arsenal's marathon men carry them to the ultimate prize? We'll find out on the pitch. Thanks for joining me as we unravel the numbers and enjoy the final.